Boy, pick up that old guitar and swing, cause swing so grand. Boy, pick up that old guitar and swing, cause swing so grand. Boy, pick up that old guitar and swing, cause swing so grand. Boy, pick up that old guitar and swing, 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 swing. Boy, pick up that old guitar and swing, cause swing so grand. Boy, pick up that old guitar and swing, cause swing so grand. Boy, pick up that old guitar and swing, cause swing so grand. Boy, pick up that old guitar and swing, 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 swing. Boy, pick up that old guitar and swing, cause swing so grand. Boy, pick up that old guitar and swing, cause swing so grand. Boy, pick up that old guitar and swing, cause swing so grand. Boy, pick up that old guitar and swing, cause swing so grand.
Where am I looking? Straight that way. What's up, everyone? What's going on today? Welcome again to the Higgins Fitness and More show. Today is rough. Long day, as every day is, but we are here, nevertheless. And today we have Ebony Wheeler of Brown Eye Girl Yoga.
Hello.
Yeah, she's definitely thrilled that she's here to join us today. She's going to help us break down some myths between flexibility and yoga and some things that you see on Instagram and all that crap. We're going to go, not crap, but you know.
Sift through the fluff.
Yeah,
today.
exactly. We're going to get down to the real nitty gritty of it, all right? And give y'all some pointers on things that you guys should be doing so that we can avoid injury and do things the proper way. You know that that's kind of all of what we're about here is doing things the proper way. Avoid injury, educating ourselves, and all that good stuff, right?
Yes.
All
yes,
right.
Most
So,
definitely.
yeah. So, Ms. Ebony, tell me now, what brought you into? Well, that's first. What were you yoga first? Have you always been yoga? Like, have you, or did you transition into yoga from maybe another aspect of fitness?
Well, yoga has been like the platform of my fitness. It's been like the thing that I'm most passionate about. It's the thing that kept me going on my fitness journey. I was going to the gym, you know, lifting and things like that. It kind of just got boring for me. You know, I like, you know, everything that comes with working out and being healthy and things like that. But yoga was what really got my attention because it incorporated the mindfulness. So, you know, how I got into yoga actually started with a meditation practice. So it was the opposite. It wasn't even physical. It was a mental, you know, shift
crazy how that
for
happens?
me. Yes.
That like how that mental and physical always come in, but it comes in like where you find your key niche or in fitness, you know, what works for you. But that's crazy. So what were you? So you were going to the gym first. Just got boring.
Yeah, you know that I was that person that had the gym membership, and that amount comes out of your account every single month, whether you go or not. And then it's like you get tired of it coming out of your account enough. It got to that point that you just like, let me go to the gym. You know, going with a couple friends, really being inconsistent. At one point, you know, I was really proud of myself. I was going, you know, it was showing everything, you know, as far as like getting really muscular, and I appreciated that.
Okay.
And where I fell off at was when the friends stopped going.
Right.
I stopped going. You know what I'm saying? So, but I would do little like squats here and there. I walk. I have a Fitbit. So fitness wasn't anything that I was just like, oh, forget that health stuff. But as far as a consistent journey that like yoga has brought me, it wasn't there.
Okay. Awesome. I like that. So in the meditation, that is what brought you to it because of the mindfulness. So tell me a little bit about that. A lot of people don't know or understand how even they would relate or, you know, what significance it has to yoga.
So, well, meditation is so many different aspects of that. You know what I'm saying? You can meditate in so many different ways through, you know, various different places and people that you want to study under.
Okay.
But I was doing mindfulness meditation, so it wasn't like, transcendental where you're trying to have an outer body experience or,
Okay.
anything like that. It was more of mindfulness. And when I say in guided meditation, so like affirmations and things like that, you know what I'm saying? You literally, you can meditate on your own. But if you've ever done any I am activities or statements, you can meditate on that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And kind of give yourself some positive feedback to yourself, to your consciousness, you know what I'm saying, your subconsciousness. You're talking to yourself. You are manifesting these things within yourself. I am this, I am that, I am living in the present moment. So it was like that. But the story is I was someone who just experienced a lot of trauma in my life as a child, and it carried into adulthood, because if you don't deal with those things, that's what it does. It follows. Life smacks you around, keeps showing up around the corner. Everywhere you go, it's a stalker, So
all that.
I was having, just without getting too deep, I experienced a lot of trauma. I grew up in D.C., and it was just a lot. And my girl, fast forward, I met, a woman who was really on her journey to self.
Okay.
And it was all about self-growth, and it was about, personal development and professional development and things like that. And I began to talk to her about some of the things that I was, experiencing and trying to shift and break through in my life. And she introduced me to meditation. Okay. And I started going right up on 15th Street at the Shri Shri Center. Okay. I was going up there. They had free meditation. They still do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And it was weird at first because I could not.
I'm sitting here thinking like, okay, so yoga is a mind thing, and I have tried it. I've done the Bikram yoga and all that, right? But and there's probably some difference there. You can probably tell me about that too. But I'm more gym. Like you do it first. You don't think about it as much. In yoga, I'm learning that you have to think first before you do. Right, in a way, like I'm not gonna hit. That's wrong too. See, that's why I'm glad you're here. That's why I'm glad you're here.
You don't have to think before you do. What do you mean? You explain that to me so then I can try to.
Yeah, because that's my thing with yoga. And I'll be like, with meditation, I'm like, okay, so what are you actually doing? Am I sitting there? Yes, I am a good person. Yes, I am strong. Like on what level? Like you know what I'm saying? Like break it down for us, because that's what I think. Like meditation, with it, I have time for myself. I take my me time and all that, but. Break down for me what exactly is meditation. If someone was to say, how do I begin to meditate? What would you say?
Well, that is another complex thing, but meditation is the journey to the self. It's mindfulness, you know what I'm saying? It is a practice really for you. And a lot of people, and so I was going to tell the story that it was weird for me. Yeah, I didn't really felt like I fit in. I'm like, am I doing it right? I'm all in my head. Yeah. And meditation is removing that. Meditation is being in the present moment and accepting where you are, accepting the fact that you're not able to clear your mind. Oftentimes, people think that they have to clear all of their thoughts from meditation. No, it's about acceptance. It's about accepting those thoughts, not holding on to them, not dwelling in them, but always bringing yourself back. So I do teach meditation, and I do an event. A free community event on Tuesdays, and we do guided meditation, and we do something called Yoga Nidra, and it stands for yogic sleep. So it's a restful meditation. But the benefit, even if you fall asleep, the benefit of that, you're still getting it in your subconscious. You are still subconsciously hearing these things and thinking about these things, you know what I'm saying, in your mind, and then you'll begin to, there's a quote that says, you pray for the answers, and meditation is where you receive them. You're still, you're quiet, you're quieting your mind, you're focusing on your breath. So one thing that I instruct my students to do to really enjoy the experience, first I get them settled in on their breath, being able to understand, the importance of breathing and things like that. And that's what I have them focus on. And when the thoughts start to come, don't try to push them out. Don't try to control the thoughts. Let the thoughts come. Take your focus back to your breath. And that's how I get people to be in the moment of the meditation. And it doesn't always work, and it takes practice. So with children, right, you can have, a lot of, they're incorporating mindfulness into the schools.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that. I've been hearing about that a lot.
And a lot of teachers are, trying to figure out how to get their students to sit still and breathe and do this. I said, start with 1 minute.
Not really
Have
work
them
for
try to
kids.
focus on
Like,
sitting there for 30 seconds.
I
You
know
what
some
I'm saying?
parents at home like, is that really gonna work for my child?
Because it's not about achieving a particular thing. It's about you trying to achieve something within yourself. So it's about you trying to get to the next goal of being able to sit, okay, I sat for 2 minutes and I didn't get agitated, or I did sit for 2 minutes and I got agitated. How did that feel? Why was I agitated? What thought came up that made me uncomfortable in this moment? That's what meditation is about. And then, I always instruct people to journal afterwards so that you can start to, write down your experiences and see how you felt and why you felt that way. So, if it's something traumatic that comes up in that quiet time as a thought, you may feel a certain way in that room full of people. It's you have to channel that feeling and accept that feeling. Okay, acknowledge, wow, I feel this way when she said that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about clearing your mind.
Yo, she just broke it down. Yeah,
You can never, ever, ever clear your thoughts. Your mind is always working, even when you're asleep. That's why we have the subconscious. Yeah. So, it's a myth to think that you have to just be still and be quiet and have no thoughts. The thoughts are always going to be there. It's about the person guiding you to kind of help you redirect.
Because other than that, that's why the thoughts just keep going. We have thoughts and it's eating me up inside. And it's because often we don't resolve or come to any comfort with it. Is that what keeps us going? Because it seems like what you just said is what will help stop that same thought from eating you up. Am I going in the right way?
In a way. You know what I'm saying? In that present moment. Meditation is about being in the present moment with yourself and your body. Giving yourself that time and that freedom. You know what I'm saying? To not worry about those things. To understand that things are just going to happen. It's good and it's bad. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's always going to be. Right. It's about how you handle things. It gives you a chance to really sit down and reflect on those things. But we do not want you in class thinking about a thought. Let's say, some people are in financial binds. So you can be in that class thinking about your finances, thinking about your car outside and, your car note and things like that. Let that thought come. But I instruct you right back to where you are right now, because at this point in time, it's a safe space. Yes. And you don't have to think about that right now. The only thing you have to do is be here for your self-care, for yourself. Everything else is going to be there when you leave. Wow. So in this moment, right here, we let it come, but we also try to let it go. Afterwards, you process.
Y'all get that? Did all y'all get that? That was awesome. Thank you. So that breaks down that meditation part. So then where does the physical part come in? How do they tie together?
Well, I like to call it meditation and movement, because the physical postures, they have benefits. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of benefits, whether it's flexibility, whether it's strength, internal, you know what I'm saying, whether it's mental. I just did an Instagram post about a downward dog, how it can help in the morning, clear your skin by the blood that rushes, you know what I'm saying, to your face. And we can probably demo that pose and I can show you, you know what I'm saying? So it has benefits. It clears tension headaches and things like that. For certain reasons, you know what I'm saying? For certain things that it does. Okay. But the poses, you can go to a mindful place in the pose. A lot of people see the poses and it's oh, I can do that. I can, a simple pose. Even standing, there's a way that we can stand in yoga. It's a pose. It's called mountain pose. Okay, if I ask you to stand there for this amount of time, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be hard. So some of the poses, it's not easy to do. So if you can go to a mindful place, you go to the place. Why are you there? You know what I'm saying? You want to get you want to merge the physical and you want to merge the mental so that you can get through that class one. So that's one way to think about it, right? Being able to mentally prepare yourself to get through the class. It's like going to the gym for that hour and your trainer is going to kick your butt. You know what I'm saying? Mentally you're there. Mentally there's a benefit for that. Also, you know what I'm saying? It's the energy that you're drawing in. It's the space that you're in as you're flowing through these postures and the connection with your breath. It's about the breath.
Okay.
Breath to the movement of the posture. When you're in the posture, it's where you're directing the energy, where you're directing the breath, where you're, you know what I'm saying, pulling the strength from and things like that.
So let's talk about that for a minute. You're awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad I picked you. No, no, but let's talk about the breath. Like, that's a key thing in yoga and a key thing in just how we live our lives, and affects us in a big, big way. I remember when I first started lifting, and I noticed that like after chest day, I'd be a little sore, but I noticed that my posture was improving, and it's like I was sitting up straighter, but I could breathe so much better. Like, but it was just that simple thing, just strengthening my upper body a little bit more. I was able to breathe. But so what that led me to understand is that a lot of us are breathing incorrectly just through our daily life. So let's talk about how that goes into the whole thing.
And also, I'm not super familiar with lifting, you know what I'm saying? But in the action of lifting, you know what I'm saying? You're opening your chest.
Yes.
You're expanding. It's not necessarily even about the strength. It's about creating that space. It's opening your chest. It's opening your shoulders and things like that, and making space, you know what I'm saying, for your organs to actually breathe. When you're hunched over, your organs are in there. You're hunching them all in. You know, my stomach right now is crunched in. My vertebrae are not in line. Right. When I'm sitting up tall, it's even flow for the breath to come through. So you're right. Yes. We don't breathe. I don't know if you notice, after I talk for a while, I pause, or, things like that. Everybody out there, okay?
Yes, everyone.
If you focus on, during your day, focus on how often you're not breathing. When you get tense, when you're anxious, when you're having a long conversation, and you're pushing those words out, you're not breathing. So when you're not breathing, you're dying. The breath is the life force.
All right, y'all. Y'all hear that?
You know what I'm saying? You have to flow that oxygen through your body, through your organs, through your blood, everything. Without the breath, there is no life. So every time that you're not breathing, you are cutting off your life. You are cutting off your lifespan. You are suffocating your organs. And then that's going to just cause even more. Your blood flow is not getting the oxygen that it needs. Your brain, your heart is not getting the oxygen that it needs. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So we have to slow down, and we have to focus on breathing throughout the day. Because if I ask you, how often do you say to yourself, I'm breathing?
Yeah, no, I forget to breathe. I do. I forget to breathe, especially like intense moments, or getting shots or blood drawn and stuff. I have to remind myself sometimes to breathe. The thing is, I never noticed how often. You're right. I had that problem until I was like, okay, you need to start breathing because you're passing out and stuff. You know what I mean? But that's where it came from, because I would stop breathing. That's kind of like my defense mechanism. Just like
it's like a fight or flight. You're gonna fight, and most people do that. And yoga has made me aware of breathing. Yoga has helped me be conscious of the fact that, one, we are privileged and we are spoiled. We don't think about our breath at all. It's not something. When you wake up, you're not like. Most people thank God for waking them up, right? But we're not like, I'm breathing. My breath is life. Thank you for my breath. So, yoga has really, really had me focusing on that. And my classes, if you come to my classes, really emphasis on breathing and really expanding the breath into your belly, into your lungs, filling your lungs with the breath. You know what I'm saying? And then properly exhaling it out too. There's a way to properly, take deep breaths and things like that.
Awesome. That is cool. So you teach all of that. So what made you say, okay, I understand that you found this, okay, yoga does it for me, the meditation, draw you in. What made you then say, this is something that I need to pursue further with the business aspect and all that you're doing now? Where did that connection come in for you?
I think, honestly, it's being a Black girl doing yoga and understanding the full benefits of it, what it did for me, how it helped me, during that time in my life of not trauma, but in that time where it was coming up as an adult. and I needed to deal with these things. And, you know, the being on the mat and having something that I was working towards and helping it. Yoga helps me with my goals. I want to stand on my head. I'm going to work relentlessly to stand on my head. You know what I'm saying? Until I get it. And if I fall, I'm going to be okay with falling. I'm going to be okay with the process. And you translate that into life, even into business, right?
Yeah,
you start this business, you keep doing it. You want to get this business off the ground, you're going to do it relentlessly. And if you fall, you're going to learn from the process and keep going. You know what I'm saying? So for me, dealing with that and going through that trauma, understanding where I came from as a black girl in DC, I understood that there was so many other people who needed what it was doing for me. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I decided to go ahead and expand my knowledge of yoga by going through the teacher's training. And I went through a 10-month program. I learned so much. That's where I learned, and that's why I wanted to talk about that whole like Instagram thing. But that's where I literally learned that yoga was not about the poses. You know, I was introduced to it through meditation and through meditation, and I started doing the yoga, right? I did not necessarily keep that connection of the meditation and movement right away. It became about the poses, and then when I got on Instagram and I saw all of these Instagram yoga people in these poses, and it was looking awesome, and they do challenges where it's like, you know, a 7-day challenge to a 30-day challenge where you do a pose a day and they pick a winner and, you know, kind of turn it into a challenge in a sport.
Right.
And so that's where I was. A lot of people figured out I was doing yoga because I was posting the pictures on Instagram.
Okay.
I found myself not even practicing all the time. I'm just striking the pose, posting the photo, and going on about my day. Even though I might go to the yoga studio tomorrow, it wasn't an honest practice, you know?
Gotcha.
And I started to realize that it was a lot of that going on. I did not have proper training. I hurt my wrist, you know what I'm saying? It was
trying
just
to be like the Instagram folks.
Exactly.
Man, don't let Instagram get y'all caught up. What? Hey, y'all hurt up, man.
Yes. You know, looking at a picture and understanding alignment is two different things, and I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
So I took the teacher's training. You know, I paid the money, and I went through a 10-month program, and I realized, like, man, I want to teach this. So going through the program was for me first, not to be a teacher. It was like, okay, I definitely think that I'll be good at teaching yoga. I want to expand my knowledge of yoga, and as I was in teacher's training, and we started reading, you know, the books and the philosophies and going a little bit deeper and going into meditation and proper alignment of the poses, I knew it was something, one, that I had to do for us. I had to do for other black girls like myself, you know what I'm saying, for that inclusion piece. Because if you know, media, mainstream media and things like that were not necessarily included in that. So I wanted to have a face, and I wanted to show, you know, other people that look like me that yes, this practice is for us as well. But I have a youth development background. And I work with youth in, you know, from middle school to high school on a number of things: empowerment, self-care, self-love, relationships, healthy relationships, all sorts of stuff that I work with youth on, and I wanted to bring it to them. Because I work with kids in DC for the last 4 years.
Right on.
And DC middle schools and DC high schools. And you see some things, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not all bad, but you see some things, and you know what's going on with these kids, right?
Absolutely.
And I wanted to be able to offer, you know, that to them as well. So my end game is to have several yoga studios, of course, but to have, you know, an after-school program operating out of there for youth, specifically for the mindfulness part.
Definitely. Our youth need that. I don't think they do too much thinking sometimes. I mean, granted, their brains haven't fully developed, but you know. And with everything that
radio,
the TV, the radio, everything they're talking about. My heart go out to them too, for sure. But I love that you turned it right back around and made it about not just you. You know, I think it's a key when you find someone in fitness that you want to work with, that they understand the struggle behind what you're doing, that they understand where you're coming from, but they also understand right where you are. You know, you know what it's like to feel weird about meditating for the first time. You know, some people take those things for granted, especially people who maybe they grew up meditating. Maybe they grew up with an auntie or uncle or dad or mom that, you know, practice yoga, so it was nothing for them, you know. We definitely need more people like you doing what you're doing in this area. What other myths or like big things that you hear people talking about all the time with the yoga that like drives you crazy?
One, we kind of just heard that you have to be flexible.
Right.
People like, I can't do yoga, I'm not flexible. Or, you know, when they approach me about taking classes or wanting to come to my class, they're like, well, but I'm not flexible. And I'm like, well, do you want to get flexible?
Because you got to start somewhere.
If you want to be flexible, you have to start doing things to be flexible. You don't have to be flexible to do yoga. Yoga can help you with flexibility. Of course, you're stretching. You know what I'm saying? So it's a myth that people have to already, one, know how to do it to go to the studio, have some knowledge about it to go to the studio, and also just be flexible. Like, I can't stress that enough. You don't have to be there. The Instagram, the magazines, and, you know, the internet and things like that, they're showing people that are in the extreme. And I just want you to know that, you know, some of the people that you're looking at, they have dancing backgrounds, or some of the people have been practicing for years, and they have stretched these muscles. They have done what they need to do. They have progress pictures and things like that. So you have to accept where you are right now. It's all about acceptance. You take that off the mat. You know, if you accept where you are in the pose, I instruct my students, don't look at the next student. Don't worry about what Seal's tree pose look like next to
mess,
mine.
Man, I'm gonna tell you.
I've been practicing the pose for how many years before you? And you never know that. You never know what you're looking at or who you're looking at. Gymnasts, ballerinas, all sorts of, you know, people that are born that's naturally flexible, that can just drop down in a split
with no
at
problem.
any point in time, you know, and now they're doing yoga, so of course, you know, it looks that way. But you can train your body, you know, to do certain things, and everybody is not going to go as deep as everybody. Your body, you figure out your body, what your pose shape is. My shape is different from your shape.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it has a lot to do with our genetics, body imagery. All of that has a lot to do with it. So what we're gonna do, because listen, I don't do. I'm not gonna say I don't do, because I've had to dibble and dabble in many areas of fitness all the time. So, but I didn't plan for today to be the example, right? So I've already done my workout with the kettlebells this morning, and so now what we're going to do in a second here, we're going to take a little break. And if you're on Facebook Live, that's great. But if you're not actually viewing in from Listen Vision Live, you are going to miss it. You're going to miss this part. So if you're just here, go ahead to listenvisionlive.com so that you can see here Ebony Wheeler of Brown Eyed Girl Yoga. Thank you so much for everything today. She's not gone. We're not gone. We're not wrapping up, but we're going to just step over here to the side. We're going to show you guys, give a little bit of demonstration, okay? So I'm going to put her info on here, Jacob, and then we're going to move on over to the other side, all right? Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back. Shoot! She was trying to warm me up, but damn, I think she just tried to kill me real quick, but we just damn it. Okay. I told you I already worked out today, but okay. All right, so it's your thing. It's your mic. It's your.
All
what you
right,
want me to
so we'll just do something simple.
do? Okay.
Kind of like what we just did. We're gonna flow through. I'm gonna teach you a sun salutation.
Okay.
Sun salutations is meant to warm the body up. It's done in a lot of yoga classes to warm you up for the actual workout of the class.
Okay.
So we'll flow through a couple rounds of that right there, and then I'll go through maybe like 2 other poses and do some alignment things.
All right, in 5 minutes. That's what we wrapping up. Here, okay.
Yep. So if you step up here, step to the front of your mat, please.
Like this way.
No. So, well, I guess you can face the people right now.
Okay.
We're going to get grounded. So remember when we talked about that standing pose?
Yes.
Where I said if you stood there for a long time, you will actually, if you stand for a long time, period, right?
Yeah.
But with the action. So right now you're just standing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're fine just like that. So find some grounding. Then lift all 10 of your toes. Press them down into the mat. Yep, now lift your heels off the mat and press them back down. No. Just find some stillness. Yep. And try to find a connection between all 4 points in your feet.
Okay.
Let's take a big inhale and a big exhale and relax. Yep. Now soften in your knees. Don't lock your knees back. Press your tailbone towards the floor. Yep, just the action of pressing your tailbone down towards the floor. Mm-hmm. Now roll your shoulders up and then back and relax them. Now place your arms out alongside your body with your palms facing forward. Yep. Bring them down a little bit. Just kind of relax them. Lift your chin slightly. Look forward. Close your eyes. So before you start any yoga class, you get grounded. You become present in the present moment. You show up on the mat. You start to release all of the things that you have to do after, all of the things that you were doing before. It's just you and your mat. It's the connection between the earth. So you feel the energy from the earth and the support, the layers and layers and layers of support beneath you. You don't have to do anything but just stand. And you can set an intention because everyone has a reason why they show up on the mat. So if you want to dedicate your practice to something or someone, you can do that at this time.
Oh, that's real cute. Real cute.
She gonna ruin my moment.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll stop.
Yep.
That's to my boo.
Now take a deep inhale in through your lungs, in through your belly, your chest. Feel your lungs, yep. And then exhale it out, but make your exhale longer than your inhale. So inhale deep through your belly all the way, fill your lungs. And then exhale into your belly, and as you get to your belly, draw your navel towards your spine. Yep, let it all out. One more time, inhale fully all the way to the top of your lungs. And then exhale out, draw your navel in towards your spine. And release, yeah.
All right, that was nice.
All right, now inhale.
She gonna give me
Sweep
one
your
this one
arms
now.
up overhead. Let's face this way.
All right.
Yep, sweep, inhale. Sweep your arms up over your head. Straight up, fingertips towards the sky. Yep. Now exhale, bending your knees, hinging at the hips, folding forward. Yep.
Go all the way down?
Yes, as much as you can. Yep. So in your forward fold, your hamstrings are probably saying hello,
Yeah.
good morning,
All
and
that.
good night, and all of those things. So you keep your knees bent here, and you lean forward into your toes so that your hamstrings are still getting that stretch there.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and then on an inhale, I want you to lift up halfway, bring your palms to your shins. Yep, straighten your legs. Look forward. Yep, flat back. And then on an exhale, I want you to plant your hands, but walk them out forward and step one leg back at a time for a high plank position. So we're going to walk our hands down like this. Plant our hands. Walk them out. Yep, step one foot back, your right foot back or left foot. Now step your other foot back. Yep. Now in your plank position, press the mat away from you, arms straight. Yeah, good plank right there. Yep. So I won't keep you here for long. Yep, so you can lower your knees here on this plank. Lower your knees all the way down, just your knees, all the way to the floor. Yep. Now stay there. We're going to do, no, all the way. Go down, don't hover. I told her all the way to the floor. All right. So we're here in this plank pose. So you want to hug your elbows straight back, and I want you to lower down into a push-up.
What you mean hug it?
Hug your elbows in towards your ribs,
Okay.
and then lower down into a push-up all the way down to the mat. Yep. Look forward. Lower all the way down. Yep. And then let your knees slide out so that you're now lying flat. Place the top of your feet on the mat. Yeah, just like that. So now we're going to go into something called Cobra Pose. And Cobra Pose literally stretches your entire backside of your body. It opens up your chest. It also helps with strength. So on an inhale, I want you to press the mat away from you and just lift your chest up.
All the way?
Yep, just like that. And then exhale, lower back down all the way. Tuck your toes under. Yep, come back to your knees, hands and knees. Yep, and then come into that downward facing dog. Oh, no, you got
Hold
it
on,
up.
but
All right.
I think we out of time. We out of time today, too.
Well-
I didn't give up. We just out of time.
That's fine, that's
Is that
fine.
fine?
It was one more pose, so
got me
that was
sweating,
almost
man.
a full sun salutation.
It is. It was great. Thank you, everybody.
guys.
We're out of here. I need some water. Peace.